So my work this week really made me feel like I was kind of stuck in a rat race again, and I had thoughts about quitting all over again. But of course, we can't just quit just because we don't feel like working, right? We're all responsible adults over here. At least I like to think that I'm a responsible adult. So in today's video, I want to present an alternative perspective on how I plan to escape the rat race in Singapore without quitting my 9 to 5. So I'm not sure about any other countries, but the rat race in Singapore is really simple. You are taught to study really hard, get good grades, go to a good school, graduate with good marks, and then go and find a job that pays you a lot of money. After that, you buy expensive things with all this money, and then you upgrade your lifestyle to a bigger house, a bigger car, and continuously be running on this hedonic treadmill of trying to achieve more, not being satisfied with enough, and then trying to achieve even more in that sense. And some people just feel so stuck in the rat race, and that was what I was feeling this week itself. I was like working so much, I was seeing so many patients, and I didn't have any time to exercise, I didn't have any time to do my YouTube channel, which really frustrates me quite a lot because I enjoy this to some extent. Sometimes it's also a drag if I try to over optimize all the kind of things. But basically what happened was I didn't have enough time for myself. And you know what naturally happens, right? When you don't have enough time for yourself, your brain just naturally goes towards the path of least resistance, which is let's just quit. Let's just find the easiest way out, which is let me just quit my job, travel the world, enjoy myself and all these kind of things. I'm sure a lot of people every day have these thoughts almost on a daily basis. I probably have them every other week or every few weeks. And I think that's where my thoughts really went into a certain direction, was that how do I feel like I'm escaping the rat race? Number one is, of course, to avoid lifestyle inflation, right? If I'm looking at all these things that people want, bigger houses, bigger cars, bigger watches and all these kind of things, then it will never end because you just keep having to earn and save and just go and buy the next thing, and then you look at the next person who is even richer and has an even more expensive watch, then you're just going to keep chasing and chasing. So for me, number one, my lifestyle, I don't want to inflate it too much. I've inflated a little bit already because I've been earning more money. You got to treat yourself, right? Go on holidays, eat nicer food and stuff like that, but that's the limit that I would inflate it to. I wouldn't inflate it to any luxury items that cost me so much money that it doesn't just make sense. All the cars in Singapore depreciate like crazy. Watches, I'm not so sure. People say that it is a somewhat of an investment, but I'm still kind of I don't know whether they can draw the line between an investment and a hobby and something that they really like. So sometimes they disguise it as an investment, but maybe it's losing money. I don't know enough about that whole industry of buying watches and stuff like that. So the number one was never to inflate my lifestyle, and then number two is actually to save up enough money. And when I say that, is cash in my bank account. It could be in your money market funds, it could be in a high interest savings account and stuff like that, but I'm a very big advocate of keeping cash right now. Different from how people call the FU money, where you have a few $1,000,000, you can just quit your job and do whatever it is. My version of FU money is just having maybe $100,000 in my bank account, something like that, for example. It basically just gives me the choice of being able to do whatever I want whenever I want, right? If I'm not happy with my job, I can kind of quit today. Not that I'm going to quit, but just knowing that I'm choosing to go to work, right? It's a very different framing in your mind and also framing of your words. I choose to go to work because I want to go to work, right? Not because like, oh damn it, I need this money to buy this new car or to fund my mortgage or anything like that. So I keep my liabilities low, and at the same time I keep my savings rate high. I keep as much money as possible so that if anything happens, if I get laid off, it doesn't matter, I'm fine. So I don't have to solely just rely on my job income and things that I don't want to do at job. I feel like if I don't do it, I might get fired, right? I won't have these thoughts if I have enough cash on hand, because if they fire me, then so what? I can just continue my life as per normal. I can maybe find another job, or I can maybe go do YouTube full time, something like that. It gives me a lot of freedom and mental clarity because I'm choosing to wake up to go to work instead of being forced to do certain things. I think that freedom is really important, because I had this time in the past where I was into very luxury cars and watches. So of course, everybody in the 20s are like that, right? I'm in my 30s now, so hopefully I'm a little bit more mature. But basically, last time I was very into these things where you see celebrities, people on YouTube channels, and they come up with all these kind of bling luxury items, right? And then I was like, I really wanted to have a Rolex watch last time. That was one of my biggest dreams, right? I don't know where that dream came from. It's such an illogical dream, but it was just a dream of mine. So I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to work hard. Next time when I can afford it, I'm going to buy a Rolex watch for myself. Fast forward to today, I'm earning so many more thousands than I was before, so much more money. I basically can afford a Rolex watch if I wanted to, but look at this, I don't have a watch. Even the only watch that I actually have right now are my G-Shock watches that I sold on my channel before, or the watch that my girlfriend bought for me, which technically isn't even working anymore. I'm not even wearing any of these kind of watches because I realized that I hated wearing watches. I hated things on my wrist. So I never wore anything. So it doesn't make sense for me to buy a Rolex watch that I don't want to wear, I'm not happy with it anymore, and it costs me so much money that it could be a liability. Then it doesn't make any sense, right? I don't want all this luxury that for the sake of, showing people that I am successful and I want people to like me anymore. Then it's useless, right? I totally don't even want to wear the watch anymore. But this was the key. I didn't really want the watches. I found that they were cool, they were nice to some extent, but if I was living in a world where there was nobody around, would I still want the cool watches? Probably not. What I really wanted was the freedom to buy those watches. So it means that if I want to walk into a watch dealer today and I tell him, I want this Rolex watch, buy it for me or give it to me right now, I'll pay full price, and then I walk out. That kind of FU money or freedom was what I actually wanted. The freedom to be able to choose and do what I wanted, instead of actually owning the bling ass watch that nobody cares. Only I cared about it. And most of your luxury items, I don't know if you guys realized it, you care so much more about it than anyone else in the world cares about it. Maybe they might give you a compliment or two, wow, nice watch, nice car, but after that it leaves their mind. But in your head you're like, wow, that person thinks I'm so cool. This watch, this car is just going to make me look so much better in the public. No, everyone's thinking about themselves. Nobody's thinking about your watch or luxury item. And I think I just really want to drive home to that, is that you're going to spend so much money to buy a liability to think that people actually like you more because of it. Definitely not. It was just a cool thing that they saw on that day itself, full stop, and you're spending hundreds of thousands or sometimes thousands of dollars just on that one item. If you can afford it and you're not like inflating your lifestyle like crazy, like if you're earning $1 million and you're spending hundreds of thousands on these kind of things, then that's fine, that's okay, right? But if you're earning like 5-6k and then you're saving up so much money just to buy a luxury watch for that day itself or that month, and then you're like using so much money, then I think it's really, you need to really reevaluate whether do you really like the watch or do you really want people to just like you a little bit more just because you have such things. The last part is actually trying to increase my earning potential as much as possible, which is why you see me being so active on my YouTube channel, talking about my investment portfolios and all these kind of things. Basically building all these different income sources that can one day supplement my income. So right now, if I'm being very transparent, I'm spending probably about $3,000 a month, business expense, personal expense, taxes, insurance, all those kind of things involved. Only $3,000. If I can find a way to replace this $3,000 next time, maybe my mortgage, my kids or whatever it is, if I can find a way to really supplement all these things without my full-time job income, then I'll be so much more freer to do my job, because I don't have to rely on just the solo income from my job itself. I don't have to do the things that I don't want to do. I don't have to do the things that infringe on my morals. I think that's very, very important. My morals are, I was fortunately or unfortunately born with a very strong moral compass, so I always want to do things right, and I do want to do things properly as well. So I think an interesting question that you guys can kind of ponder about would be, what can I do today in order to increase my income or my investing so that I don't just solely rely on my job income? Because I think a lot of people, they go towards this direction of only having the main source of income, which is their job. And that's the same case for me as well. I earn a good amount of money from my job, and there's a very huge reliance on my job, which is why you see me diversifying to all these kind of things, because in the future I want to rely on these things more than my job itself. I'm still going to do my job out of passion, out of interest, so then that stays as a very, very nice, almost making my job a side hustle to some extent. There's totally nothing wrong with earning a good income at your job and having promotions, earning even more money from your job itself. That's totally fine. But what are you doing with that money afterwards? One of the things I've been thinking about more since I hit my late 20s or early 30s, I have a lot of quarter life crisis, right? That's a whole different story. But one of the things I really think about is leverage. So we always go through this whole process of trading time for money. At the start of our jobs, we trade a lot of our own time, our health, all the things that you can think about. You really just push everything into your job and you really try to earn as much money as possible. So then you're trading your hours, whatever input equals to output, right? It's almost equivalent to some extent. As you grow older, one of the things I wanted to think about was, how can I leverage my money or my time in order to create ways that I can have a better return on it, right? So you can basically do it through money, which means you invest your money and you use your money to work for you instead of you just earning, or instead of you just putting your hours to earn money through your own time. Another way is of course through media. That's why I'm releasing all these YouTube videos, right? I'm putting in a one-time effort to script, to think about ideas, and to create the videos, and then the videos can earn me money while I'm sleeping. Maybe people from the US, they're watching my videos, or over time as we go down the road, many months down the road, with just one-time output, people are still watching my videos and I'm still earning money from it as well. That's how I earn money, through leverage. And I think this leverage is extremely powerful, because I think right now my YouTube channel can earn maybe a few hundred, maybe $1,000 per month. But in the future, let's say if I build my personal brand up for about 10 years, 15 years, then how much money am I going to be earning later just by opening my mouth and talking on camera? I'll be able to earn so much more money, right? So I really want you guys to think about how can you best leverage yourself, or leverage your money, your capital, whatever it is that you can leverage in the future itself, so that you can earn a better return in the future. And overall, that helps you to escape the rat race, right? Or if you choose to stay in the rat race and you want to buy all these things, no judgment there, up to you. You can really continue that as well. But these are just alternate choices that you can choose, so that you have a bit more freedom to live the life that you want on your own terms. Hopefully this video has helped you guys to think a bit differently about how you can escape the rat race without quitting your 9-to-5 job, because let's be honest, the quitting is not the way to go. There's no judgment here. You can do whatever you want, but at least in my opinion, I think that the quitting part is just a transition phase, and you need to think about what to do next anyway, right? So quitting over and over again may not be the solution. If you enjoyed this video here, then you'll probably enjoy this video here on the Longbridge Singapore app tutorial for beginners. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day as usual, and I'll see you guys in the next few videos. Bye bye.